Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dockery Docket podcast, the podcast where we like presidents to stay alive, we don't wish for them to die, and we also want to focus on their health as well because their health is very important to us. So with this podcast, I always try to make sure that I remain consistent. In the past, I talked about Joe Biden's health, which I was accused of beating up on him, but that's a story for a different time. But now we are starting to experience Donald Trump's health sort of having some issues, and we gotta get down to the bottom of it. And I'm talking about Donald Trump's health for the same reason that I'm talking about Joe Biden's health. It is about accountability. I get nervous that the administration or the media or someone is lying about Donald Trump's health. And if these people are lying about Donald Trump's health, then they need to be held accountable. Now, all of this sort of started a few months ago when people started noticing that Donald Trump's ankles were getting swollen and people were concerned about it. They were writing it on X and social media. Why does Trump's legs look like this? And so the White House was very transparent when it came to this situation, as Caroline Leavitt came out and claimed that Donald Trump has CVI, or chronic venous insufficiency, which means that his legs aren't getting the proper blood flow that is usually required for his legs to survive. This is a very common condition in older people, and it can usually be treated very simply with compression socks and putting your legs up. But then things started to happen and people started to look deeper into Donald Trump and also his health. As once again, pictures were being floated around on social media, but this time the focus was on Donald Trump's hand, as he was doing some sort of speech in the Oval Office, and you could clearly see that Donald Trump was covering up his hand with his other hand. But then he moved that other hand and instantly people saw what he was covering up. He was covering up a big black and blue bruise that was on his hand. And instantly, everyone was like, what in the world is that? There are even pictures of Donald Trump putting foundation on there that didn't match his skin color, and it just looked bad. What is this? Why is Donald Trump doing this? What's going on with his hands? Well, once again, the administration came out and they were very transparent, and they said that Donald Trump has been working so hard and is shaking so many hands that his hands are turning black and blue. Now, when I first heard this, I thought, there is no way that this is true. This is a cover-up, right? There is no way that someone can get their hand shake so hard that their hand bruises. But apparently it happens a lot in older people who are especially taking blood thinners, which Donald Trump is, as he is taking aspirin, which causes more bruising. And maybe Donald Trump is taking that aspirin to help his heart, or also maybe it helps his blood flow better. But whatever it is, this drug does cause bruising. Maybe Donald Trump did shake someone's hand and it did cause him to bruise. We may never know. But also, if you look at the picture and then look at another picture of a patient who has a bruise on their hand from an IV, they look eerily similar. Now, the administration has not come out and claimed that Donald Trump is getting an IV of any sort, but the question is, why would he be getting an IV? What would he be needing it for? And according to a user on X, I know that's a very reliable source, this is happening once a month, around the 24th, as different articles have come out claiming Donald Trump's hands are bruised again. Donald Trump has bruises on his hand. Look at this picture. He has bruises on his hand. So what is actually going on here? It might be that Trump is getting monthly treatments. Maybe it's for the CVI, or maybe it's for his heart. I know that there are a lot of people in the celebrity world who have a really big kick on taking IV vitamins and stuff like that. So maybe it's something small. Maybe it's something not so serious. Or maybe it's a stroke. Because the reason that this whole controversy came out in the first place was because Donald Trump disappeared for 4 days. Seriously, folks, that's it. He disappeared for 4 days and the media literally flew a gasket. X was blowing up with people claiming that Donald Trump was dead, or in a coma, or he had a stroke. And there is picture evidence of this as he went on a golf trip with Kai Trump. And look at this picture. Clearly you can see that Donald Trump had a stroke, right? You can clearly see it. You can see it right there. No, I don't really see it either. Anyway, the left on X were so excited, hoping that one day they would wake up, like on Christmas morning, and find an article that said that Donald Trump died. And even some politicians joined in on the fun, as Tim Walz, the vice presidential nominee for the 2024 Democratic Party, told people to remain hopeful that soon an article will come that Trump is dead. Take a look at this.
You get up in the morning and you doom scroll through things, and although I will say this, the last few days you woke up thinking there might be news. Just saying. There will be news sometime, just so you know, there will be news.
I know it's vague, but you know what he's talking about, and it is absolutely disgusting. Listen, I get it, you don't like Donald Trump, you literally think he's Hitler and he's the worst person in the world. But does that really justify you wanting a man dead? Like, I was mad when it came out that Joe Biden had cancer because I thought that someone lied to him about his cancer diagnosis. And I thought it was covered up for Joe Biden and also the American people so then he could win the election. And you can look back on that time and see that I wrote that I hope that Joe Biden has a speedy recovery and I hope he gets well soon. I never called or hoped for him to die, and I don't remember any Republican politicians claiming that as well. And if there is a Republican politician claiming for that, please send that video over to me because I really want to know. Because it is important. Because wishing or hoping for the death of someone is wrong no matter who they are. Now, I know that there were probably people that slipped through the cracks. Trolls on Twitter, trolls on Instagram, claiming that they hope that Joe Biden dies. Those people were wrong, just like the people that are calling for Donald Trump to die are also wrong. But all of this just shows that the left has absolutely no tolerance for different opinions at all. And I also hate to talk about it because I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but the difference in the coverage of Joe Biden's health versus Donald Trump's health is night and day difference. It's crazy. Because whenever we thought that there was a problem with Joe Biden, maybe he slipped up the stairs, maybe he fell off a bicycle, maybe he was having trouble speaking, and we had legitimate concerns, people would write us off and say, oh, you're just a conspiracy theorist. There's nothing to see here. He's super sharp and he's super great and he's the best man ever for the job. But Donald Trump is literally gone for 4 days. That's it, 4 days, and the media absolutely freaks out and says, well, he's gone. He's dead. Might as well pack it up. JD, come on in. You're next in line. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, just listen to Jen Psaki talk about Joe Biden's health and also talk about Donald Trump's health. Take a look at this.
I think cover up is such a loaded phrase. I never saw that person, not a single time, and I was in the Oval Office every day, that was on that debate stage. I'm not a doctor. He was a person who told a very long story in the Oval Office, but that was the case 30 years earlier, right? So how do you differentiate? I don't know. Cover up is a very loaded term. It's a bit of a dangerous term.
He had been basically absent from the public eye since last Tuesday. And that absence, and you may have seen this over the weekend if you looked at any social media platform, prompted quite a wave of online speculation about the president's health and well-being. We may never know why Donald Trump's suddenly spent a week hiding entirely from the American public.
This is not me attacking Joe Biden. This is me and a lot of other Americans calling for transparency and also consistency from every single different government that we have to make sure that our president is healthy and fit for office. All of this sets the stage for Tuesday, as Donald Trump was set to address the nation at 2 o'clock, and the White House didn't specifically say what they were talking about, so as you guessed it, X and social media absolutely went flying. There were people on X claiming that this was Donald Trump resigning from the presidency and handing over the reins to JD Vance. Donald Trump has cancer. He's going to give up the presidency. Donald Trump had a stroke. He can't talk anymore. He's going to be sending it off to JD. People were looking up Google Maps and seeing that the roads were being blocked in front of Walter Reed, meaning that Donald Trump was going to give this speech, and then instantly he was going to be taken to Walter Reed because he has cancer or he has a stroke disorder and he can't function right without being in the hospital. All of this crap was made up. It was all fake. As at around 3 o'clock, Donald Trump came out very much alive and talked about moving a Space Force base from Colorado to Alabama, completely destroying the left's idea of Donald Trump resigning and also Donald Trump dying. The truth is, Donald Trump is an old man, and he may have some health issues down the line. This means that we have to hold the administration accountable and make sure that they are being consistent and transparent with us. This story also shows us that we need to make sure that we are careful when it comes to social media. We need to start believing the real things. We need to start seeing with our own eyes what's actually true. And what was true was that Donald Trump wasn't sick. Donald Trump wasn't dead. And maybe sometime in the future this might happen, but I'm hoping that the administration will be transparent and actually give us the information that we want and need. And with that, I just want to thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Dockery Docket. Make sure to comment down below if you liked my new camera. And until next time, like my mom always says, be good, be kind, be loving, goodbye.